Hello everyone， 大家好。今天我想分享一些中文初学者的学习技巧。在开始之前，让我想讲讲我自己的中文学习历程。我8岁时开始学中文，但是我爸妈送我去中文学校，学了差不多5年后，由于搬家到新城市，我不得不停止学习中文，并专注于高中学习。将近4年时间里，我都没有接触中文，直到17岁高考后才重新开始学习。幸运的是，我早期的基础帮助我重新上手，现在我仍然在学习中文。So, first things first, let's talk a bit about the Chinese language. Chinese, specifically Mandarin, is the most spoken language in the world after English, with over 1 billion native speakers. It's the official language of China, Taiwan, and one of the 4 official languages of Singapore. Mandarin is known as Putonghua in mainland China, which means common speech. It's a tonal language with 4 main tones and 1 neutral tone. This means that the meaning of a word can change based on its tone. Now, let's move on to the first tip. Since Mandarin is a tonal language, I recommend you start with pinyin and tones before focusing on characters or words. So, what is pinyin? Pinyin is a Chinese writing system that uses the Latin alphabet. Learning pinyin is an essential first step in getting to grips with Mandarin Chinese. You can learn every sound in Chinese simply by learning pinyin. Now, let's move on to tones. Pinyin and tones go hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. There are 4 basic tones and a 5th neutral tone in the Mandarin language. Chinese tones will be the second step after learning pinyin. Not spending enough time mastering the tones will make it difficult for you to distinguish between similar sounding words. One of my Chinese friends said the natives don't care that much about the tones, but still, there can be lots of misunderstandings if your tones are incorrect. For example, 我要买东西 which means I want to buy something. 我要卖东西 I want to sell something. 你有病吗 Do you have eyes? 你有病吗 Are you crazy? Are you insane? So, how you speak a word can completely change its meaning. The best way to do this is to listen to a native speaker with a standard accent and practice shadowing. Spend time listening to the 4 Chinese tones and saying them out loud. For practicing your pronunciation, you can use a pinyin chat with audio, and also don't forget to check out these videos. The next is put dedicated effort into learning characters. Once you have a solid understanding of pinyin and basic pronunciation, you can start learning commonly used words and their corresponding Chinese characters. The characters are the most unique and fascinating aspect of Mandarin Chinese and are essential to learning the language. You may wonder why you should learn Chinese characters if you can pronounce Chinese words using pinyin alone, but you can't read Mandarin Chinese without them. There are lots of words that have the same pronunciation but have different meanings, like homophones. So, even if you can pronounce a word perfectly, you'll need to know the characters to understand the meaning. Once you decide to study Chinese characters, work at them every day. Devote half an hour to an hour a day just on learning characters. Use whatever method you want, but set aside dedicated character learning time every day because you will forget the characters almost as quickly as you learn them, and therefore need to relearn them again and again. But don't worry, now there are lots of tools that can help you with this. One of them is the Mochi Chinese Learn Chinese app, which is based on the spaced repetition. Thank you, Mochi Chinese, for sponsoring this video. This is an app designed to help you memorize over 1,000 vocabulary words in just 1 month using a unique golden time feature. This feature is based on the principle of spaced repetition, which involves reviewing and recalling information at regular intervals. The app leverages your learning history to pinpoint the optimal time for your brain to memorize new information, sending timely reminders for review to maximize retention efficiency. Your learned vocabulary is categorized into 5 levels of memorization, ranging from level 1 just learned to level 5 long-term memory, ensuring you master everything you learn. You can also track each word's level in a digital notebook. With hundreds of lessons and up to 5,000 Chinese words, the app covers the full vocabulary needed for HSK1 to HSK6 exams, or if you are a beginner, you can start with 100 basic Chinese words first. The courses are divided into small topics, each containing about 10 words per lesson. Mochi Chinese vocabulary, including pinyin, is presented in the form of flashcards with audio, eye-catching images, meanings, and example sentences. For what you already know, you have the option to skip them. The app also offers engaging quizzes for each new word, designed to improve your Chinese listening, writing, and reading skills. You can even practice stroke orders during the lessons or in the right tab. You can practice daily conversations with the adorable characters Mochi and Michi in the Conversation tab, which helps improve your reflexes and communication skills in Chinese.
你家有几口人？
我家有6口人。
Additionally, Mochi Garden helps you maintain your learning routine and motivation by allowing you to plant virtual trees and take care of them by achieving specific goals. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced learner, Mochi Chinese will be a great companion on your Chinese learning journey. You can download it via the App Store, Google Play Store, or the website. Simply search for Mochi Chinese, Learn Chinese to find and try it out. The links are also included in my description and comment sections. Moving on to that is, don't skip writing. Usually, learners begin with learning pinyin, then move on to read and recognize Chinese characters, but often skip over learning to write in Chinese. You shouldn't just read characters, but also write them to memorize better. This is just what learning by doing means. While writing a character, we could recognize the details of the shape, and there are plenty of similar Chinese characters, especially when you reach intermediate and advanced levels. Here are some examples. Some of them have the same components, some of them are slightly different in maybe 1 or 2 strokes. It's better to write them down whether on iPad, tablet, or paper, so your hand and brain will memorize the difference. Here, writing means not blindly copying every character over and over again, but rather memorizing it by recognizing its radicals, which are the components of Chinese characters that often provide clues about the meaning or pronunciation of the characters. As we progress, learning new characters becomes easier because so many elements repeat in the characters. The next is use a variety of resources. Now, we have all the tools and an incredible world of learning resources at our fingertips, so learning Mandarin Chinese is a more achievable goal than ever before. The first one is textbooks. No matter what stage you're at on your journey of learning Chinese, books can be a fantastic resource to help you build your vocabulary, improve your reading comprehension, and more. Some popular choices include the HSK series and Integrated Chinese. You can also check out some books that I would like to recommend for each level in my description box. You can further expand your learning through websites. Platforms like Chinese Grammar Wiki, Mandarin Sport, and Coursera offer a wealth of resources from vocabulary lists and grammar tips to interactive exercises. Podcasts are another excellent way to enhance your Chinese skills. They improve your listening abilities and expose you to various accents and speech patterns. The first podcast I would like to recommend is Chinese Pod. It has thousands of lessons available for anyone from absolute beginners to advanced levels, and each podcast typically lasts 10 to 20 minutes.
对不起 I'm sorry.
The second one is Melnick's Chinese. Every Chinese lesson comes with practical situational dialogues, vocabulary, and review.
Normal. Okay, this is also the answer to 怎么样 or 你好吗
And the last one is Speak Chinese Naturally, 自然而然说中文. This is a brilliant podcast with interesting topics and excellent accompanying transcripts that are extremely beneficial for improving your Mandarin listening and reading skills. Finally, YouTube. There are so many fantastic channels dedicated to learning Chinese. Channels like Everyday Chinese, Cici Laoshi, and Yimin Chinese offer tons of lessons, tips, and cultural insights. Moving on to that is listen, read, repeat. Focus on listening. I try to listen to whatever content I was reading. Reading helps you learn vocabulary, but listening helps you connect with the language and get prepared to speak. Listening comprehension is the core skill necessary in order to engage in conversation with people. You can do this by practicing listening exercises from HSK books, listening to podcasts, as well as Chinese songs. And also, read a lot. Don't limit yourself to textbooks. Explore a wide range of materials on subjects that interest you, such as news articles, novels, blogs, and social media posts. The more you read, the more you'll become familiar with different sentence structures, vocabulary, and idiomatic expressions. I've also included some links for reading practice in my description box. And the last one is speak. After acquiring the first 5 tips, now it's time to speak. The best way to practice speaking at a beginner level is shadowing. I used to imitate sounds a lot from dramas, songs, and documentaries since I started learning Chinese. One thing, when you speak, don't second-guess yourself on tones or any other aspect of the language. Just let the words and phrases you have heard and practiced flow out, mistakes and all. Each time you use the language, you are practicing and becoming more comfortable with it. Don't worry about the perfect pronunciation at the beginning. To build your ability to hear and feel the language, you need to listen to hundreds or even thousands of hours of Mandarin, allowing your brain to adapt. This process can be rushed, so trust that you will gradually and naturally improve. At whatever stage you are in learning Mandarin, speak without fear and trust your instincts. If you continue reading, listening, and speaking, your skills will naturally improve over time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips helpful and that they inspire you to continue your Chinese learning journey. Remember, learning a language is a rewarding but challenging process, so be patient with yourself and enjoy the ride. I'd love to hear about your experiences and any tips you might have. So leave a comment down below. Let's learn and grow together. 再见。